assisted me.
You had street credibility.
Oh yes, I still do. Yeah, I still do. Yes, I understand my environment very well. So they accepted me, and I used them, and they benefited immensely. You see, more often than not, those we condemn as bad boys, dogs, about that, they don't steal. The society has neglected them, and they want to survive. Find something for them to do. Nobody will enter. When we got to Akure, we recorded several robbery cases, robbery incidents. There was a particular pathetic one bosser of one. We recorded several robbery cases, robbery incidents. There was a particular pathetic one church in Akure. They followed to the church, and they killed him right in the church. They killed the poor man. They killed him, collected the money. The impunity was much, and people saw them with their Camry unregistered, without number plates. The second one, they came right into a ministry, by Ministry of Agriculture, near the governor's office. They collected cash from those who went to call them to the nearby bank. Then if you went to any ATM to collect cash, they will rob you on Okada. It was very common. Then there was an Olosho, a prostitute, who was picked around that ShopRite side in Akure. And before we could know anything, they killed her, they ripped her open. So it was that bad when we came in. So what I did, and I can say this openly, I moved into the streets, had meetings with this Army of Progress, and now give them the option of eating the bullet or eating food. I told them, money or bullet, choose. If anybody came into Akure, we gathered our intelligence reports from them on a daily basis. It's also easy, so magical.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
That is Doni Odebowale, Senior Special Assistant on Special Duty and Strategy to the late Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. There is more to talk about. After this break, stay tuned.
Here we go!
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
Who are the gangbangers of the nation's future? We know them. They are defined. We know the militant, and there are others. The others, however, very often lack immediate identification, but they're especially dangerous. But we know them. So do you all. They are the ones who, even while claiming to defend the rights and entitlements of their constituencies, do little more than defend the rights and entitlements of their privileged existence. They are the generator contractors in whose interest it is that the national electric system never works. They're the minority. Minority who conspire to run down the health system of this nation, since they can then divert its allocation to their own and their family's excursion to Wiesbaden for annual checks and fly to New York to cure the toothache. They are the ones who systematically destroyed the educational system, which we took for granted throughout our own past, that has engendered this present.
There's this part that interests me a lot. That's page 31. You said, of course, there were powerful non-state political actors in the background, breathing down heavily on the government. Early in 1993, a delegation of the Center for Democratic Studies visited the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Dasuki, on a transition sensitization visit. After the formalities, the hall was cleared, and the Sultan requested the representatives of the management of the CDS to advise Babangida not to proceed with the election, because according to him, neither MKO Abiola nor Bashir Tofa was qualified to be the president. The management of CDS replied that it was already late to stop the process because the candidates were already on the campaign trail and the nation was expectant. The Sultan said that if the management of CDS could not advise President Babangida to stop the election, he would do himself.
Yes.
That is the Sultan here.
So that's one area where he could exercise that power and influence. The other is, we said at the beginning that a lie is something you lie because you want to benefit from it. So, or you lie or you believe a lie because it agrees with what you also want, what you were thinking before. So if the Sultan tells Babangida something, that agrees with what Babangida wanted, of course, they are collinear. They are in agreement, and therefore he would obey. And I think that there was a lot of that, because spiritual leader, but as we say in politics, there's also politics behind the scene, which sometimes determines issues more than the politics on the scene. That's what they call the atrologia. It's something, there are things that nobody is ever told. Politics works at night most of the time, and politicians are night animals.
Yeah.
So, and you never, there are no minutes of such meetings, and the minutes are in the minds of the participants. So it's a question of what's going on, which is not in the public domain.
Why the night? Because as a political reporter, I even find myself working at night to know what the politicians are doing. Why do they like the night?
They like the night.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Was there any Gloria Okon?
I don't know.
You heard of Gloria Okon?
It was the journalist that started shouting about one Gloria Okon. I don't know anything about Gloria Okon. But what I said was that Dele Giwa went to UK. And the airport and other people were saying that, and I said, how can Dele Giwa go to Britain to investigate something? And claim he doesn't know anything about it.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
And that was the atmosphere in the glory that perhaps
that Kayode brought the report of his investigation to Delegewa.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
Because we are moving into it, as my mind was saying, look at ungoverned space. Look at an ungoverned space. Wide expanse of land. Young men were just coming out from different corners.
I know that from that area.
It's space. Wide expanse of land. Young men were just coming out from different corners.
I know that from that area.